Hello everybody and welcome back. This is the second video of our series on learning the theory behind sheet music. Last time we looked at learning rhythm and how to read timing. This time we're looking at actually the notes, learning what the notes are and how they're written. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. So I hope everyone can see. I actually had to do this for uni. We had to do a 10-minute teaching session about something just to practice teaching skills. And I chose teaching sheet music because of course I did. So let's have a look now at the treble clef. So I'm using the little PowerPoint that I made for that. The treble clef, so all this means is this squiggly line indicates we're in the treble clef. And this is usually used for female voices, but tenor can also be written in this. But just because you're a bass, don't stop watching because the principles are basically the exact same. So we can see here, this is what a typical stave, I'm trying to draw and I'm moving it by accident. This is what a typical stave looks like, or staff. So it's just got 5 lines horizontally lined up. We can think of this as a ladder. If I draw a ladder here next to it, with 5 rungs. And we have rungs and spaces in between the rungs. So you will see notes written on the stave, obviously. And the position of where they are, particularly on the stave, gives us information about what they are and how to sing them. So like a ladder, the more you climb up, the higher you will be. So the higher on the stave, that a note is sitting, the higher it's going to sound like, whereas the lower on a stave that the note is sitting on, the lower it will sound like. Now there's one more trick I should probably also show. In music, they also add rungs. So if they want a note that's even lower, they can literally just add rungs on the bottom and put a note down there. So let's have a look. This is just a photograph showing a bunch of notes on the treble clef, and we can see these are all climbing up and up the ladder, and these are going in steps. So this is the same as the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, except whenever we get to G, we restart back to A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. And basically this is how they write music onto our ladder. So it can be on the line or it can be on the space, and these are all important details. And which line and space they sit on are also important. So these are just climbing up in steps. So this would sound like da 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 da, and going up like that. Now I want to make a point that my goal in teaching this is not for you to look and be like, okay, I know that's an F, or I know that's a G. Even if you do know, that's a G, that's great. But what now? What would you do with that information? Because if you were playing piano, you know, oh, this key is the G key. Or on the violin, I know how to put my fingers in this way to make the F note sound. But with singing, unless you've got perfect pitch, you can't do that. You can't just say, okay, here's an F and I'm going to sing you an F, because we don't really have that in us. So what's important is not necessarily that you know the note, but that you understand relativity between notes, knowing how to move up and down on this ladder, knowing how to get from one note to another. That's what's really important. That's what I'm interested in. And then as a famous composer, Elaine Hagenberg once said, a melody or a song basically is just a series of steps and leaps, or steps and jumps put together. And that's really all it is. And when we're able to understand what they sound like, what different jumps and things sound like, and how to move across on here. Like for example, I keep moving it. How can I get from C to G? Because that's the jump in my particular music, then I'm able to really be able to sing anything that's given to me. So that's our intention for this. Now, so like I said, I'm just going to briefly go over it though, just so you can have an idea. Like I said, whether it's on a line or a space is important, and which line or space is important as well. So we have a mnemonic, every good boy deserves fruit, to help us see which note, and this is only for the lines though. So if there's a note on the line and you want to figure out what it is in the treble clef, you say every good boy deserves fruit. So E is the first line, G for good is the second line, B is boy, and it goes up line by line. So notice that we're skipping the spaces. We have a different mnemonic for spaces. So this is for a thing on the line. Every good boy deserves fruit. And because I teach piano lessons, this is the little picture that I use for my kids. So if we have an example, how can we figure what this note is? Well, first it's on a line, so we'll say every good boy deserves fruit. Just draw a watermelon so we know. Every good boy deserves fruit, and then which line is it on? Every good boy deserves fruit. Every good boy deserves fruit. This is on 1, 2, 3. This is on the third line, so this is A, B. Perfect. And now we know that. So if it is in a space between the rungs, remember our ladder, it can be either on a rung or between the rungs. This is for between, this is the spaces. And we say face, F-A-C-E, like faces in the spaces because it rhymes. And the first space is F, second A, C, E. So an example, I'll try to let you guys figure this out on your own. Just give it a pause. And when you think you know it, keep watching. So remember, we're counting the spaces. F-A-C-E, because we're spelling face. F-A-C-E, and which space is this in? 1, 2, that's a C. Awesome. So to summarize, this is the little slide I had from my PowerPoint. In order to correctly identify the letter name of a note in the treble clef, you have to determine if the note is on a line or a space. And then if it's on a line, we say every good boy deserves fruit, or we say F-A-C-E if it's in a space to help us figure it out. So now I have a quiz. So remember, a line or a space, and then which line or which space, and use every good boy deserves fruit, or use F-A-C-E. So I'm going to tell you the answer now. This is an E. Next one, please try and actually do these in your head as well. This is also an E. Next one, this is D. Cool. So bass clef looks like this instead. It's a different type of a squiggly line, but it's the same 5 horizontal lines in a stave, and it's still, like, think of it as a ladder. The higher you are up here, the higher the note is. Very same, it's just that we can't use the same saying every good boy deserves fruit or F-A-C-E. For the bass we have different sayings. So you can see these are all the notes lined up on the bass. It's the same, A, B, C, D, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. And what we say for the bass if it's on a line, we say good birds don't fly away. Good birds don't fly away. And I tried to draw a little bird here. So remember, first line is good. Good birds don't fly. That's the fourth. That would be an F. And then for the spaces between the rungs, all cows eat grass. So A for all, C for cows, E for eat, G for grass. Sorry if I'm going a bit quick through this, but just pause it and do it on your own as well, because I'm not kind of waiting for you guys. I'm just telling you. But give it a pause. So let's try. Good birds don't fly away. Good birds don't fly away. So that would be an F. Okay, and try and figure out the next one on your own. We say all cows eat grass. So this would be C. Awesome. So like I said last time, I'm not so interested in you being able to identify this is an F or an A or a C. I'm much more interested in what you actually do with the information, in seeing where you are on the ladder and in knowing how to move up and down the ladder. So what I wrote here is what really matters is not knowing how to read the notes, but understanding relativity between notes, how far apart they are from one another, how to get from one note to the other, or how to get back down. And this is basically going to be talking about intervals and what they sound like. And like I said, if you're able to do that, you'll do super well with any kind of music presented to you. So I'm going to cover that in the next video. Please stay tuned, and thank you for learning, and I'll see you in the next one. The next one is going to be like literally just the most important one of the series. So I will see you there.